Hello, welcome to another edition of Really, I'm a Grandparent. I'm James Lott Jr., grandparent of 4. We have another edition for you. This person is part of the JLJ Media family. She is in several of my audio dramas already, The Blue Door, The Purple Door, Fairview Heights, and The Grown Adventures of the Tooth Fairy. She's also going to be starring in the upcoming audio comedy, The Kringles, which starts December 3rd. We're finishing up production on that, so it's really funny, nice little group. Help me welcome Karen Rabadi. Hi, Karen.
Hey, thank you. Hi, so sweet.
Wait.
Hey, I love it. I
The
appreciate you so much.
so I get to say to you on camera, just for posterity, that I love you on my audio dramas. I think you are one of my secret weapons. So I just grab you and say, "Do the show with me." Okay. I like having you on. You're easygoing. You do what needs to be asked, and I like your voice.
Oh, I love it. I love you too. I appreciate you so much. I love your work. I am always literally like your characters just come to life in my head. So I am truly inspired and I love it. So thank you for believing in me. I'm like, oh.
I remember we had our meeting on Zoom and we met up and chat, and so like the voice working out great. No, I'm very happy. Well, I can
likewise. I get super excited. It literally makes my days.
Okay. We have such great people who do what we do it with. So it's everybody has a lot of fun and we just have a lot of fun. So that's why I love it. I'm glad I'm creating this community. That's what I wanted to do.
Right.
And have some fun same time and do something.
Right.
So we were doing one of our shows and it turned out 2 people in my cast, you and a future other guest, Trina, both are grandparents too. And so,
yes.
So the first question I have to ask you is, what age to become a grandparent? It's always our big thing, like what age to become.
Well, it's kind of tricky because I'm still 27. I'm just kidding.
Of course. I'm 39. I'm 39.
Yeah. But no, I was 48. I was 48 when my first grandchild was born.
Now, how many do you have?
Well, that's my only grandchild for now, right now.
Grandson or granddaughter?
It's a granddaughter, and she is like the love of my life.
Okay, great. No, wait. So now, did your daughter have a kid or son have a kid?
My daughter. I have 3 daughters, and so my oldest daughter, my firstborn, I had a baby, and so yeah, she is 2. Oh. And yeah, super cute, like super smart. Oh my gosh, so.
Now,
yeah. What is it real quick with the babies today? The kids today, they are like superhuman.
Oh yeah, they're already way ahead of us. I mean, I was playing with like wooden toys when I was a kid, and they're like they know how to they can do my phone. I used to go to my grandkids, help Papa Jimmy his phone. They just 6 years old, program it for me. Thank you.
You know how she takes my phone at 2. It's like, I want to take a picture. Goes to my camera, goes to the selfie, takes pictures, turns and takes videos. And everyone's phone that she can grab is filled with her selfies.
See, I know. They know phone. They know tablets.
It is crazy.
They know YouTube. There's kids YouTube. The kids know this stuff.
What is that? Is it like what?
Evolution, girl. It's evolution. I guess we didn't handle it as we were kids.
I mean, I'm loving it. Like literally, I'm loving it. I'm in awe. I'm in awe. It's
Well, I like that too. What are you called?
Oh, okay. So actually, it's funny because I get that call asked a lot. So in our culture, grandma is the formal way to say it is Jidda in Arabic. And so yeah, Jidda, but like kind of like granny or nana in Arabic is teta, so she calls me teta. Yeah.
Okay, I like that. I know, because it's us younger folks become grandparents. I'm Papa Jamie.
Oh, that's cute.
I'm like, I'm not with grandpa, I'm not granddaddy, I'm not grandfather.
Yes.
I'm still young, and I still want to. So I was like, I'll be Papa, and like my mom is Nana. She likes Nana, so it's like, so you won't say like birthdays, like it's just certain things, but yeah, it's that's and great. Then my grandmother, when she was alive, she was Gigi for great grandma.
That's cool.
So it was kind of fun. So yeah,
I love that. I love the little endearment terms, and it does mean so much more. It is such a deeper, greater love. Man.
No, it's so crazy to see your child have a child. That's why I was asking you which one had it. Mine's a daughter also. My daughters had kids. So I was like,
Yeah.
oh, like this is interesting to watch them. For you, because you're a mother yourself. I'm a father. You're a
Right.
mother, though. You gave birth to
Right.
children. How's
Right.
it been so far with your daughter, watching her parent?
Oh my, it is so interesting because at the beginning when the baby was little, mom and dad were more protective of the baby and wanted to spend more time with the baby. And it was like, we kind of stayed away a little bit. And so now it's like, I feel like, okay, like I'm kind of lost a little, like, okay, are they depending on me? Do they need me more? Like, I'm always trying to ask. I can do what I can do because I really think it's very important and vital for a grandparent to be part of that process. And man, I mean, just yesterday I spent her mom was working. So it was my day off and I went and hung out with her while mom worked, while mom worked.
They
And we
multitask
walked,
fast. They
la la
multitask.
la,
Yes.
and we walked around the neighborhood and it was just the sweetest thing being able to, she was really listening and I was pouring into her and I was teaching her some things. And it's just so, anyway, I can go on and on about
No, that's what I
that.
want.
But
That's what the show's about. But that's the thing I'm saying, because you're a mother. It's a different. It's me. I'm a it's father daughter. Something different. It's mother
yeah,
daughters. Two women who gave
yeah,
birth, and you gave birth
yeah,
first to her. So and you raised her, so you know things.
yes.
Yeah. So I was always wondering. I mean,
Oh, yes. And then it's interesting too, because we do kind of like, there are some things where it's like, we kind of like, and I'm like, I'm like, should I say that? I don't want to step on any toes because I don't have a will intent, of course.
right.
And, and it's like, I sometimes feel like it's taken in a different light. And then I'm like, okay. And so it's like, it's hard because it's like, I want to do something, but then I don't want to say anything. So I let them, and what they're doing is amazing because she's an amazing young lady.
Yeah.
But like, you have certain things
No, you
that
do.
like,
No, you do. You do.
because they're like, can I just be honest? Okay, I'm
Yeah,
just putting this out there.
that's what this show is all about. For all the grandparents out there, they want to even hear you.
Oh my God. Okay. So like some things, like I'm just like, oh, she doesn't kill me for this. Oh my God.
I love it.
So like, for instance, like, okay, so she'll be like, like very protective of certain things.
Yes.
Right. And like, for her daughter not to like do certain things, but then will allow her to, when she was first learning to eat, like we'd be at a restaurant and she'd just throw the food everywhere.
Got it. Yes.
And I'm like,
yes. For the restaurant. No, we could do that. No, it's just real grandparent talk. I told my family, each of my siblings who are becoming grandparents too. I was first. And the rest of them guys said, sometimes the hardest thing is watching your kids parent.
Yes.
That's a real thing. This is a grandparent podcast. We talk about all the time.
It's
Sometimes it's hard to watch them parent. They be good people, and that's what that. But to say that there are things that we wouldn't allow that they may allow, that's the hard part. And so, do you jump in and go, "Don't do that"? If they're saying it's okay,
right. And then also too, though, you have a lot of things that have changed. So in my time, we didn't do certain things, like we didn't have babies sleep a certain way, or
yeah.
different things changed.
Yeah.
And so it's like, where do you draw the line? Because they look at you like, Mom, that was like 1920.
You're right, exactly. You're right.
And I'm just like,
back then a little bit. You're right. Some things were different back then.
And that was just literally like my oldest is 30. And so like, that was just literally, I mean, I got married really young, guys.
I know how it is. My oldest is 34, so I understand. For us,
I mean, it was fine, but loved it, like totally loved it. I mean, it totally made me grow up. But yeah, it's interesting, our relationship, and I love the fact that I have seen, and I actually experienced this as well. And I think most people will get to experience this when they have children. And once I had children, I had more empathy for my parents.
Yes.
And I think that when she had her child, she became more, what's the word I'm looking for? Patient. Where, I'm just honest to say, a lot of the younger generation, it has just been okay for them in their world to have a little more relaxed and kind of, talk back sometimes and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's okay because we know, like, I know where the heart is. you know, and I know where she's coming from. So it's like, it's hard to like, because culturally it's like, oh, you don't allow your child to talk like that. And then that's
Right.
another show. But and so there's so much, you're just like, oh my God, it's so hard. But
but the truth is, Karen, though, when kids get it, when your kids have kids, that opens up the dynamic to a whole bunch of hosted things for the family, for the whole family tree.
Come on.
When it's grandparents, great grandparents, aunts and uncles, but it can totally destroy a family, it can bring one closer together, it can do all kinds of stuff because of the way you raise a child.
Right. And you know what I was thinking about? Actually, I was like, you know what? I was thinking about, you go, I didn't sign up for this. Like, because it's not just, you're just, oh, a grandma or a grandpa. Like, you're now a mother-in-law, you're a father-in-law that has to deal with all these other issues with the child, with the things, with the custodies, with the and it's like, you're just like, whoa.
So that's the thing. Also, the thing I'll say about that is, you're right, it's also about the in-laws. It's the other grandparents. It's the other family. Like they may do something totally different than you do at their house. You're like, okay. No, seriously, trust me, I know. Trust me, I know.
You know, yeah. And it's just like, and it's just, it's just so many different things to it. And there isn't, I don't think, enough being, I guess, maybe talked about or exposed out there or brought to light to give us this understanding of, hey, this is what to expect. This is how you may want to handle this. You may want to stay out, you know, because it does cause a lot of friction and chaos. And of course, there's so much. The opposite end is, man, we've connected and grown differently. Our relationship has just been so flourished and beautiful. And it's just like, I'm so proud of my daughter. You know, I look at her and how, you know, how the way she's raising her daughter and being strong and going through it and stuff. And there is so much beauty in it, of course, you know.
So so when it comes to all this stuff, then what kind, so you're still navigating it, you said yourself. Well, I'm still navigating it too, we're also navigating it. But in general, what kind of grandmother are you?
So in general, I definitely respect mom and dad's decision. She's always trying to come and be like, Tete, can I have chocolate? And I'm like, well, let's go ask mommy. And so we'll go and ask mommy, and she's, mommy said no. And I'm like, okay, well, we have to listen to mommy, because guess what? Mommy knows what's best for you. And so you may not understand that, but you will one day. And, you know, and so we, you know, we go through those things, but I really try to enforce that, because I think that is of the utmost importance, because otherwise then that child starts to get confusion and ideas.
No, I agree. The thing, you have to be a united front. All the adults have to be a united front. You kind of have to. You can fight in private and what you got to do there, but when it comes together, somehow you got to find some kind of common ground where the kid doesn't use you against them, or them against you, or because
she started to do that, and then when she saw that I was not one that was going to give in to her, because she knows I'm obsessed with her, and you know, and like, oh my gosh, it is the best, you know. I'm so sorry.
I know. See, folks, a dog barking is what happens. Dog wants to join into the conversation.
Yeah, exactly. 100.
Well, baby, come online. Well, you see him now. Is he no?
Oh yeah. Here, you want to see my little Benji?
Hi, baby. Oh, you're an angel. Oh, you're a precious angel, baby. Hi, baby.
He's such a scaredy. He's scared of heights. So like when I put him up there.
He's so cute. A cute face, though.
He does have a cute face.
Oh,
he's a good boy. He's adorable. He's such a sweet boy.
I can tell. I
love it.
Like, okay, hand down. Okay.
But of course, all owners are like, he's such a good dog.
Oh my God, he's so cute. Oh my goodness. Oh, I love that.
But he really truly is.
Oh,
yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, it is interesting to see all the different, you know,
dynamics.
The ripples, you know, the effects of, and I mean, one of my best friends told me before I had, you know, before my grandchild was born, she said, you know what, Karen, once you have a grandchild, you will not understand or experience the love of a grandchild until you have one. And literally her words now just ring into my head all the time. And it is very true. It is, I didn't understand. And it was something clicked in me. It was like lineage, you know,
Yes.
just like
Legacy.
oh my gosh, like the bloodline, and it just
Yes.
like
Yes.
it just made you kind of wake up more to have such a higher standard of what you want to
Yes.
do and how you want to be that role model, and it just forces you to grow up even more,
I
you
agree.
know. Yeah, and it's just like, whoa, it's like, it's not like you don't know these things, but it's like it really awakens you to a higher level of that understanding and why it is so important. And and
Yeah,
so yeah.
I think it's one of those things. Also, for me, I was highly as a parent. You're being a parent. You're still growing. You're dealing with whatever's
Yeah,
going on. But now you can sit back. It's not your child.
yeah,
It's someone else's child, but they're related to you. So you're not
yes,
having. You don't have. And so, well, some grandparents do raise their grandkids, but for the most part, I always don't raise our grandkids. They're being raised.
yeah,
So that's our responsibility. So our responsibility is to come in and be this other person that loves them, gives them some sense of history, and then we figure, like you said, figure out what part of us can
yeah,
we give to them also, because our grandparents did to us all, like well, I had grandparents, I was looking at grandparents, so they instilled to me. So it's funny, we're not the parents, we're being a grandparent. So I'm trying to copy my grandparents, so to speak, and how
right,
they with me.
right. That's interesting that you actually bring that up, and didn't even really think about this, a lot. But I actually, growing up, I didn't have my grandparents all, but one died when I was very young. And so yes, I only had one, and he wasn't even really close in our, we moved, and he was the oldest person in New York to get his citizenship.
What? Oh
Yes,
wow,
he was on the news and everything. My grandfather, yeah.
that's fun. Okay.
Yeah. And so he impacted my life because I remember the very few moments that I had with him. I remember as a little girl, I played cards with him once.
Okay.
That stuck with me, and I wanted more of that, but I never had it.
I'm
And
sorry you
so
didn't have that, because I love
I
I
don't
am sorry, go
know.
ahead.
Go ahead.
No,
Oh,
I
no,
was
no, I
saying,
was just saying, but I was just saying it's all good because it's like now I get to, even that much more give to my grandchild. The
yeah, no,
things,
it's yeah, no, I was just gonna say that it's for me, it was funny because I had both sets, and I had grandparents, great grandparents.
Wow.
I lucked out.
Wow.
So I lucked out. I had
Yeah,
great
that's a
grandparents.
blessing.
I had a great grandmother until I was in my 40s, and so I was kind of crazy.
Mhm.
But the rest I had to my. But it was weird is a bunch of them died all of a sudden. Like I had them to my 20s, then they all just every year they died. I lost
Yeah,
4 or
see,
5 in
that's
a row.
so hard. See, I don't, and it's interesting that you talk about that because I was thinking, I mean, I'm so like, I go into my like depths of thoughts and stuff, top
Yeah,
stuff sometimes, but I think about, purpose and what's meant and what we can handle and what God knows, I guess, what we can or can't handle. I can't, I guess I'm such an empath that I think maybe I wouldn't be able to handle that type of separation.
right.
You know what I'm saying? And so maybe he was sparing me, you
Maybe,
know,
no, maybe, right.
that. So anyway, that's a whole nother story.
But maybe. But the thing is, we're talking about grandparents. Like saying some people don't have grandparents, so
Yeah,
they don't
right.
have a blueprint.
Yes,
I kind of had a blueprint, so I kind of was like, okay,
right.
so after becoming a parent, that was like that's one thing. But now I'm like, how do you become a grandparent? Like like you said,
Yeah,
what do you do? You're feeling yourself around. Like what do you do? I'm like, well, what do
yes,
my grandparents do? So I was able to actually look at what each one did and
yes,
kind of
yeah,
mirror some of that stuff and go, oh, well, I'll try that. I'll try, but still be myself
yeah.
and wherever
Right.
that is. But
Right, right.
so yeah, so
Well, well, that's interesting too, because I believe I was blessed actually enough to be able to see that firsthand from some people close to me in my life that were grandparents and that were modeling good grandparenting, and it was the pouring into those kids' lives.
yeah,
I think that also instills in me. So that's important. People don't realize how much of an impact they're making in other people's lives just by being themselves and doing them, you
I
know.
agree. I agree.
Yeah.
But when you said earlier, I was going to go back to it a second. When you said earlier about being this kind of legacy, I was like, I have a family tree now after me.
Yes.
Like
Oh,
like
come on.
because we were a part of a family tree. At some point we were the bottom of the tree. We were
Yes.
the last leaves.
Yes. Yes.
Now we start having kids. then we start going in the middle of the tree, and then now we're
Right.
like at the top of the tree. It's like it's really interesting, and I still
Yeah.
got parents. I mean, I'm like in the sandwich in the middle.
Yeah.
So it's like but it's so weird because I could talk to them about. So now me and my parents are grandparents together. That's
I
interesting.
love that. Right.
My mom and
Right.
I, we treat it's her great grandchildren, but it's my grandchildren. We have this
Oh,
all kind of
wow.
we can share that
Wow. See, that's
experience.
another level. See, that's another level of love that you guys have grown deeper in and depth in and greatness, which is so cool.
It's really interesting because we can both say, "Ha ha!" Now you're the parent, so we'll see what happens there. Like, but when I first became a grandparent, it was like, okay, this is interesting, and she was like, "Oh, you'll have fun." Like she was like, "You'll have,"
Yeah.
like, "You'll have fun," because she has
Yeah.
fun being a grandmother. It's like you'll have fun.
Yes.
And
Yes.
so now we're both like two old grandparents together. Like, it's like, oh yeah, we know how to do all this stuff. Oh, sure. So the kids
Right.
get double the love, double the everything, and so I think it's
Right. Right. But that's interesting that you say that what keyword that you said. Actually, what has changed within me is that it's interesting how when I was a mom, I was, tense and like stressed out. And then now I walk into the picture as grandma and I got this coolness. I'm like, give me the child.
give me a
Like,
child, give my baby. We're fine. No, seriously, you do because you like. See, for me, I always like to tell the joke. The first year my kids were born alive,
uh,
it was all about keeping them alive. It was like the first year, it's like, are you alive? Are you breathing? Are you breathing? Are you breathing? You know what I mean? Like it was all about the first year. It's just like, are they breathing? Are they fine? Are they hungry? Are they okay? Are they
I
pee?
can't even tell you how many nights I would get up and go put my finger underneath
Yes.
her nose.
No, yes. Sometimes it looks so peaceful. You're like, are you alive? Oh, like, I mean, and so I'm saying now that we're grandparents, we know the baby's resilient. For most part, they're fine. So we know when when the parents are freaking out, our parents are we're like, oh, we got it. Let's be fine. I mean, I'm always like, give me a baby in one hand. I can fix the TV over here at the same time. I mean, just give me a drink in my hand. I can do it all now because I'm a grandparent. I can do it all.
It's so, and it's like, it's interesting because it's like, man, I wanted to give that to my daughter, but no matter what I'd say, she won't understand that release until she goes through it. Because I think that it's sad because it's like, we are, in that time frame, we don't get to, some of us have more luxuries to spend the time and to do. It depends on the situation. Like I was in a different situation. I was in I'll tell you about that situation.
Yes. I get it, girl. I get it.
Stories. But no, like, and it's interesting, that when you have, the different scenarios going on within that time frame and then compare it to what it is, now and how more calmer you are now and understanding. It's like you want to give that to your child and go, it's going to be okay, but it's hard to, it doesn't really go away, if that makes sense.
No, and plus it's their child.
Yes.
It's like they're in the middle of it. You know what I mean? Like they're in the middle of it. We can say all this, walk away, life goes on, but they're still with the child. So they got so you're like, oops. I'm like, but they'll be fine. Trust me, they'll be okay. So
right. As my daughter looks at me rolling her eyes.
Right, exactly. So you're like, okay, it's trust me.
I'm just kidding, baby girl.
It's funny. I have one daughter. One daughter was never that. She was always like, take the kids. My other daughter is very like, just like, be careful. I know actually it's her man. Her man is more like that. He's like, I remember when I first went to my latest grandchild, Trent, who I'm in love with. I went to meet him, and the father was like, so Papa Jamie, you know how to I held your wife as a baby. I think I know how to hold a baby. Like I was like, but it was kind of cute that he was so protective. So I'm like, I raised your wife. I'm like, she's alive, she's fine. I know how to hold a baby. This is the fourth grandchild too.
I know. Yeah, same thing. Yesterday, I wanted to walk with my grandbaby, and my daughter's like, "Mom, it's near the street," and I'm like, "Are you kidding me?"
Right.
Like, I have 3 kids, girl.
Like it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay.
Yeah,
it's so crazy. So but I smile because I go, okay, at least we're being good parents. At least they're not being.
Oh no, like you know what? For sure, hands down. Like I literally, that's one thing I have literally been so impressed with how detailed and how intentional their parenting they're my daughter, my grandbaby, and it is so nice and refreshing, and just to be, it's just nice to see, and it's hard because culturally, and I'm just putting out there honestly, like culturally, you grow up sometimes learning bad habits.
Yeah.
And culturally, it's in reality, that child, there's certain things and elements that happen. And so anyway, so I say that to say, like, man, I'm really just impressed that they're in a space and place and time that are able to have the resources. There's so much out there today that is pouring into the younger generation, and if you just look for it, man, because so many people are lost.
Yeah.
How do we do this? There's no but there's a lot out there.
I want to ask you a question when it comes to culture, because I am in my cultures, there's certain traditions and things. Is there in your culture something a grandparent's supposed to do?
Oh yeah, I think that's the fine line that I'm like at, because it's like, okay, I'm Arab, but like we have like certain cultures where certain things where, like, I guess the parent is like more expected more to the grandparent is expected to be more there, more available, and to help with that. And so I think, but that's that place where I think I need to sit down, and we really I haven't made the time to just sit down and have that conversation. Like, look, where do you want me in this role? Because I want to be a help and not a hindrance.
Right. No,
and,
right.
and then know my boundaries. Because I had a bad situation, anybody who knows me, with my in-laws.
Oh,
and I'm
okay.
not,
Okay, good.
I'm not talk bad. My ex and I are divorced, and everyone knows it.
Yeah.
But it was a bad situation, and so I'm always like, I don't want to be that in-law.
Well, then see, there's something there. You learn from your in-laws not how not to be. So that's good. That's good for your daughter and for your son-in-law, whatever. That's good for them, because then you won't be repeating the same mistake. Sometimes
No,
we
exactly.
repeat the same mistake. Sometimes we will repeat it, and they're
Right.
like, well, why are we repeating it? Like, good,
Right.
you're not. You're like, no, I recognize that's not how I want to be.
Right, exactly. And there was a lot that I was actually able to see in you go, why did I go through this, or why did I go through that? And it's like, man, like, it's like I actually posted this meme today.
Okay.
And it's like, there was a lot of things that broke my heart but fixed my vision.
Ooh,
And and it's like,
that.
wow, like so many things, like, but it just does, it makes you grow and understand. And that's the beauty of now being a grandparent. You can now, all those experiences, sow into, like, what you said, the things you've had to make you the person you are today, and sowing into you. And that's what our role is. And it's and we should take it in a more serious light.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
Well, I want to thank you for being on the show. I mean, it was great. It was a great talking with you. I'm glad you brought some good points. And so the listeners out there, hopefully you can relate to some things she's saying that we were talking about today. But the bottom line is we both love being grandparents.
Amen. Don't, what is it? Oh my God, I'm botching the words. Never mind.
Right. Yes. But we love it. We love being grandparents. The bottom line. We love being grandparents. That's the bottom line.
That is the bottom line. That's right.
That's the fun part.
It's underrated. That's what I was trying to say.
Okay.
Underrated.
Right. Well, I can see that, I guess. I mean, a lot of times, they don't talk with the grandparents as much. It's always the parents, aunts and uncles, things like that.
Yeah, right.
Cousins. Like, grandparents we're still here, and we're younger. That's why I have this show. We are younger. We are here. We're very involved, and that's why it's called Really I'm a Grandparent. That's what we do.
That's right.
Thanks, Karen, for being on the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yes. And everybody out there, everybody out there, Really I'm a Grandparent on every streaming service you can think of. We're on YouTube under JLJ Media. Go ahead and like us there. Have some fun. And if you want to be on the show, of course, you can always contact me. Let me know if you're a grandparent. If you became a grandparent in your 30s, 40s, or 50s, give me a jingle and let's talk about it. Let's have you on the show and let's talk about it. We've done, I don't know how many episodes now, but this show was voted one of the top 21 shows of grandparent podcasts in 2021. So I take that. I receive it. I know. I love it. I receive it. I take it. Thank you. I appreciate that. And continue. If you have grandparents still alive, go love them. Go call them. Say hello. Say hello to them if you have them.
They have a lot of wisdom to share with you.
They do. They're part of the village. Protect the village. We'll
Come
see.
on.